I think sometimes we get a little too excited when it comes to vocal mixing, and we forget that there are actual methods that we need to be utilizing at the beginning of the mix before we even touch it with any of the special effects. Because if the initial recording isn't cleaned up, then it's just gonna bring up a bunch of bad frequencies that we just don't want there. So today I'm gonna show you a few steps that you need to be taking before you even start vocal mixing that are much more important than the mixing process itself. So as you can see here, I have my lead hook, and I'm just gonna play it completely dry. All we have is a little bit of auto-tune on it.
Eyes are so hypnotizing, and there's a fine line between living and dying. Without you, I'm dead. You heard what I said, no regret.
The more that you make music, the more that you'll start to hear harsh frequencies, and in that I could hear a ton, and maybe you could too. So what we want to do is put on a EQ cleanup, and we're actually going to put it before our auto-tune. Now understand, each plugin interacts with the next plugin, so the order of the plugins will determine how the song sounds in the end. So with the EQ cleanup here, I suggest making the first one a low pass shelf, and the last one as well. Keep in mind, it does matter what direction you go. If I were to use the wrong direction, it'd look all crazy like this. We don't want that. We want to go with the correct direction. On the high end, I would cut out almost 14,000. These are just frequencies that we can't actually hear with our ear, and it opens up more space for the instrumental. And same with the low end, you can actually cut up to about 100. Some people cut out more, but with this, you're just allowing more of the bass from the instrumental to cut through, where this would just be low rumbly noise that we don't need to have in our vocal. So now let's go ahead and just listen to the lead hook here. And all you want to do is make sure you have this headphone turned on here. And on each of these cleanups, we want to make sure the Q is about 5.3. You can go a little higher if you want, but you might end up taking out a little bit too much. So we'll go ahead and play it.
Eyes are so
Raise it up to the max and just sweep.
you,
All right,
I'm
hear that?
dead. You heard what I said, no regrets.
So each one, we just want to find that nasty sound that kind of bites at our ear and reduce it by about 3 dBs. So let's do that with the rest.
Eyes are so hypnotizing, and there's a fine line between living and dying. Without
You can already hear it getting cleaner.
You heard what I said, no regrets. And if I'm gone, I wish you the best. Hope you rest. Eyes are so hypnotizing, and there's a fine line between living and dying. Without you, I'm dead. You heard what I said, no.
Boom, and now you can hear it's much cleaner. And make sure that if you're sweeping like this, you get this little bell shape here. This is what's gonna allow you to do exactly what I just did. So now that we have our EQ cleanup, understand that we recorded all of these takes with the same mic in the same place. We can literally just copy and paste these onto each and every single track that we have, just to make sure everything is just as clean as that. So now we just wanna keep this solo for now, and we wanna bring in a noise gate as well. Usually you'd put the gate first. Let's play it and take out any ground noise that we don't need.
Eyes are so hypnotizing, and there's a fine line between living and dying. Without you, I'm dead.
And if you notice that you're starting to get some robotic cuts and it's kind of cutting your vocal out, you can go ahead and do this.
So hypnotizing, and there's a fine line
Increase the
between
release
living
until
and
it's no longer doing it.
dying. Without you, I'm
With this vocal, I can put this down and not really have too many problems with that.
eyes are so hypnotizing.
I'll increase the
and there's
release a little bit just in
fine
case.
line between living and dying.
And now I'll do the same process. Just go ahead and paste this gate onto my other vocals. So now you see that this vocal cuts off into the other one. Now what we can do to make these transitions much cleaner, we can simply just grab this little block. We can just reduce the noise here, and this would remove any ground noise that would have been right here. You can just cut that out if you want, but it really doesn't matter. And we can do the same with this side, so that the transition comes in way smoother than it would have.
Wish you the best, hope you rest.
So you notice here, we do need to cut this out because we do have a little bit of ground noise. And we'll back this off a bit because we don't want the start of this to be too quiet.
Hope you rest. Your eyes are so hypnotizing.
And I guess this might have been a horrible example because this does have some distortion in it. I recorded at too high of a gain to make sure you don't do what I just did here. If you ever see the waveform cutting off at the top like this, it means that it's distorting and it's actually losing dynamic. We can make it sound okay, and it didn't happen too much in the song, so it's fine. I'll keep it, and I kind of like how it sounds. But just make sure you avoid doing this because we can always add volume, but we can't really reduce volume as easily. So now what we want to do is we want to add a deesser. I myself like to use Waves deesser. Deesser. It's very easy to use and just makes complete sense to me. Ableton can be a little bit confusing with their Deessers. So what we want to do is we want to go to the side chain here and go to bandpass. Ableton's is going to look a lot like this. So we want to hit the S chain, and this is just going to solo the specific frequency that we're at. If you want to do this in Ableton, all you do is the same exact thing. You'll open up this arrow here. You want to click on this filter right here. This is where you can change the frequencies, and you just want to hit solo, like just like that, and it'll be the exact same thing as here. And of course, you'll just mess with the threshold from there. So we want to just take a listen. All right, and then we want to turn off S chain.
Without you, I'm dead. You heard what I said, no regrets. Boom. And if I'm gone now, it's you. The eyes are so hypnotizing.
And do the same thing, copy and paste that onto all of your tracks. So now we have clean vocals that we can actually mix, and things won't be all out of order. And this is where I would just take my favorite presets and start going through them and see what works. So for my leads here, I'll just group them. I'll put my template on, and let's take a listen.
And then there's a fine line between living and dying. Without you, I'm dead. You heard what I said, no regrets. And if I'm gone, I wish you the best. Hope you rest. Your eyes are so hypnotizing.
If you guys want presets like that, use my first link below. I love using Vocal Sauce Volume 3. It's one of my favorite packs. And of course, for all these layers and these harmonies and bridges and things that I made, I use Ad-Lib Sauce that just came out. It's a brand new pack made just for layering. And of course, Vocal Sauce will include some master chains. So if you have those two packs, along with these methods of cleaning your vocals, you're gonna be able to have a professional sound literally in seconds. And you can use my code Joey at checkout if you guys are interested in those packs. Anyways, I hope that this helped you guys out. If you guys need some help on your mastering and need to know a little bit more about it, watch this video right here.